Trevor Francis, a name that echoes through the history of English football, a pioneer who broke barriers and defied expectations. His talent and ambition took him from the lower leagues to the grand stages of European football, but his journey was also marked by controversy, a shrouded transfer fee, and a falling out with a legendary manager. Hit that subscribe button to dive deeper into the lives of sports legends. Today, we explore the complex story of Trevor Francis, uncovering the triumphs, the trials, and the legacy of a footballing pioneer. From his record-breaking transfer to his clashes with authority, we'll delve into the life of a man who left an indelible mark on the beautiful game. In 1979, a seismic shift occurred in the landscape of English football, a transfer that would forever alter the financial dynamics of the sport and etch the name of Trevor Francis into the history books. It was the dawn of the million-pound player, a groundbreaking moment that captured the imagination of fans and signaled a new era in the game. Francis, a rising star at Birmingham City, had attracted the attention of several top clubs with his dazzling skills and prolific goal-scoring. Nottingham Forest, the reigning European champions, led by the charismatic Brian Clough, emerged as the front-runners in the race to secure his signature. The transfer saga captivated the nation. Negotiations were intense, with Birmingham City holding firm on their valuation of their prized asset. The final fee, shrouded in a bit of mystery and controversy, was widely reported as $1 million, a staggering sum at the time that shattered the previous transfer record. However, Clough, ever the showman, insisted that the fee was actually $999,999. He claimed that the psychological impact of breaking the million-pound barrier would be too much for Francis to handle, a burden that could hinder his performance. Whether this was a genuine concern or a clever tactic to downplay the financial significance of the deal remains a subject of debate. The transfer, regardless of the exact amount, was a watershed moment in English football. It signaled a new era of inflated transfer fees, a trend that would continue to escalate in the decades to come. It also highlighted the growing commercialization of the sport and the increasing power of wealthy clubs to acquire top talent. For Francis, the transfer brought immense pressure and expectation. He was now the million-pound man, a label that carried the weight of a nation's hopes and dreams. He was expected to deliver, to justify the record-breaking fee, and to lead Nottingham Forest to further glory. The transfer saga, with its controversy and intrigue, captured the imagination of fans and the media alike. It was a story of ambition, financial power, and the changing landscape of football. Francis's move to Nottingham Forest, while ultimately successful, would forever be associated with the million-pound milestone, a symbol of a new era in the sport. In the midst of his rise to prominence with Birmingham City, Trevor Francis made a surprising move that raised eyebrows and sparked debate within the footballing world. In 1978, he embarked on a loan spell with the Detroit Express, a team competing in the North American Soccer League, NASL. This transatlantic adventure, while offering new experiences and financial incentives, also drew criticism and raised questions about Francis's commitment to his parent club. The NASL, a burgeoning professional league in the United States, was attempting to attract top talent from around the world to raise its profile and compete with established European leagues. Francis, a rising star in English football, was seen as a prized acquisition, a player whose skill and reputation could help elevate the league's status. The loan move was a unique opportunity for Francis. It allowed him to experience a different style of play, a more attacking and free-flowing approach compared to the tactical battles of English football. It also offered him a chance to earn a significant salary, a lucrative proposition that was hard to resist. However, the decision to join the Detroit Express was not without its critics. Some questioned Francis's commitment to Birmingham City, suggesting that his motives were primarily financial. Others felt that the move was a distraction from his development as a player and could potentially hinder his progress in the English game. Francis defended his decision, arguing that the loan spell was an opportunity to broaden his horizons and experience a different footballing culture. He emphasized his commitment to Birmingham City and his intention to return to the club after the NASL season. The loan move to Detroit, while a brief chapter in Francis's career, was a significant one. It highlighted the growing globalization of football and the increasing appeal of the American market. It also showcased Francis's ambition and his willingness to embrace new challenges, even if it meant stepping outside his comfort zone. The experience in the NASL, though ultimately not a long-term pursuit, provided Francis with valuable insights into different playing styles and tactical approaches. It also exposed him to a new audience and further enhanced his reputation as a talented and versatile player. While the loan move may have raised questions about his priorities at the time, it ultimately proved to be a stepping stone in Francis's career. He returned to Birmingham City with renewed vigour and continued his impressive performances, eventually securing his groundbreaking transfer to Nottingham Forest and etching his name in football history. Trevor Francis's arrival at Nottingham Forest in 1979, a record-breaking transfer that signalled a new era in English football, was met with great anticipation. He joined a team led by the legendary Brian Clough, a manager known for his tactical brilliance and his ability to extract the best from his players. However, despite initial success and a shared European Cup triumph, the relationship between Francis and Clough would eventually sour, culminating in a controversial departure and a lingering sense of animosity. The early days of their partnership were promising. Francis's skill and versatility complemented Clough's tactical approach, and the team enjoyed continued success, including a second consecutive European Cup victory in 1980. Francis thrived under Clough's guidance, his performances on the pitch justifying the hefty transfer fee that had brought him to the City ground. However, cracks soon began to appear in their relationship. Clough, a manager known for his strong personality and demanding leadership style, clashed with Francis's desire for greater autonomy and recognition. Their disagreements over tactics, playing time, and Francis's role within the team created tension and frustration. Francis, a confident and ambitious player, felt that his contributions to the team were not fully appreciated by Clough. He desired a more central role in the team's attacking strategy and craved the freedom to express his creativity on the pitch. Clough, however, preferred a more structured and disciplined approach, often restricting Francis's attacking instincts and demanding adherence to his tactical plans. The tension between the two reached a boiling point in 1981, leading to Francis's departure from Nottingham Forest. The exact details of their falling out remain shrouded in mystery, with both men offering conflicting accounts in later interviews and autobiographies. Francis claimed that Clough's treatment of him became increasingly disrespectful and undermining, while Clough suggested that Francis's attitude and demands had become disruptive to the team's harmony. The truth likely lies somewhere in between, a clash of personalities and ambitions that ultimately led to an irreparable breakdown in their relationship. The falling out between Francis and Clough was a significant turning point in both their careers. For Francis, it marked the end of a successful period at Nottingham Forest, a club where he had achieved European glory but also experienced the frustrations of a strained relationship with his manager. For Clough, it was a reminder of his own demanding personality and his tendency to clash with strong-willed players. The controversy surrounding their falling out added another layer of complexity to Francis's legacy. While his achievements at Nottingham Forest are undeniable, his departure under a cloud of conflict left a lingering question mark over his time at the club. The incident serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by players and managers in navigating the dynamics of professional football, where egos, ambitions, and contrasting personalities can sometimes clash, even amidst success. Leaving Nottingham Forest in 1981 marked the beginning of a new chapter in Trevor Francis's career, a journey that would take him to new clubs, new challenges, and ultimately a deeper understanding of the beautiful game. His departure from Forest, though shrouded in controversy and a touch of bitterness, did not diminish his ambition or his desire to succeed. He joined Manchester City, a club with aspirations of challenging for honours, and continued to showcase his skills as a versatile and prolific forward. However, his time at City was hampered by injuries, limiting his impact and preventing him from replicating the success he had enjoyed at Forest. Despite the setbacks, Francis's talent remained evident, and in 1982 he embarked on a new adventure, joining Italian club Sampdoria. His move to Serie A, the pinnacle of Italian football, was a testament to his reputation and his desire to test himself against the best players in the world. He embraced the challenges of a new league and a different style of play, adapting his game and contributing to Sampdoria's success. Francis's time in Italy was a period of both personal and professional growth. He experienced the passion and intensity of Italian football, the tactical nuances, and the demanding expectations of the fans. He also immersed himself in the Italian culture, broadening his horizons and gaining a deeper appreciation for the country and its people. After 3 seasons with Sampdoria, Francis moved to Atalanta, another Italian club, where he continued to showcase his skills and contribute to the team's success. His experiences in Italy solidified his reputation as a versatile and adaptable player, capable of performing at a high level in different leagues and cultures. In 1987, Francis returned to England, joining Queen's Park Rangers. He continued to play at a high level, his experience and leadership qualities making him a valuable asset to the team. However, his playing career was winding down, and he eventually retired in 1994-4. Following his retirement, Francis transitioned into management, taking on roles at various clubs, including Queen's Park Rangers, Sheffield Wednesday, and Birmingham City. His managerial career, however, was not as successful as his playing days, marked by inconsistency and challenges in adapting to the demands of the dugout. Throughout his post-playing career, Francis often reflected on his journey, acknowledging both the triumphs and the controversies. He expressed regret over his falling out with Brian Clough, recognizing the missed opportunities and the lingering bitterness. He also acknowledged the challenges he faced as a manager, admitting that he had much to learn about the complexities of the role. Francis's reflections reveal a man who, despite his achievements, remained grounded and self-aware. He recognized the importance of learning from his experiences, both positive and negative, and his insights into the game and the human dynamics within it provided valuable perspectives. His story is a reminder that even the most celebrated athletes are not immune to making mistakes and facing challenges. Francis's willingness to acknowledge his shortcomings and reflect on his journey is a testament to his character and his enduring passion for the beautiful game. Trevor Francis's legacy extends far beyond the groundbreaking $1 million transfer that made him a household name. He was a pioneer, a trailblazer who paved the way for future generations of footballers to seek new challenges and achieve success both in England and abroad. His impact on the game was significant. He was a gifted and versatile player, capable of scoring spectacular goals and creating opportunities for his teammates. His contributions to Birmingham City, Nottingham Forest, and the England national team solidified his status as one of the most talented and exciting players of his era. Francis's legacy is also intertwined with his controversial moments and his outspoken nature. His clashes with authority, his transfer disputes, and his falling out with Brian Clough added layers of complexity to his story, highlighting the challenges faced by players navigating the evolving landscape of professional football. Despite the controversies, Francis's contributions to the game are undeniable. He inspired countless young players with his skill, his ambition, and his willingness to embrace new challenges. His legacy serves as a reminder that even amidst the pressures and complexities of professional sports, talent, dedication, and a passion for the game can lead to lasting achievements. Trevor Francis's journey, marked by both triumphs and controversies, is a testament to the complexities of a life dedicated to football. He was a pioneer, a gifted player, and a man who dared to challenge conventions. His legacy, though multifaceted, reflects his undeniable talent, his ambition, and his enduring impact on the game. What are your lasting impressions of Trevor Francis? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of the lives and legacies of sports figures. It's really heartbreaking when you think about how Paul Mariner, such a strong and powerful player, passed away from brain cancer. You never would have expected someone like him to face such an ending. It's one of those stories that truly hits hard. Paul Mariner sadly passed away on July 9, 2021, at the age of 68 after a short battle with brain cancer. It's still hard to believe, especially when you think of what a force he was on the pitch. Mariner was one of those players who truly left a mark. As a centre-forward, he was a powerhouse. His strength and physicality made him a real challenge for defenders, and his aerial ability was second to none. Sure, that style of play sometimes led to a few clashes, and some of the opposition might have seen him as a bit too aggressive, but that was just the way the game was back then. There are moments in Mariner's career that will always stand out. Take that crucial match against Hungary in the 1982 World Cup qualifiers, for example. He scored the only goal in a 1-0 win that secured England's spot in the tournament. The goal itself might not have been the most elegant. It came from a bit of a stumble, and the ball ended up deflecting off his shin into the net. Not exactly a textbook finish, but it was a goal that carried so much weight. Some people might say it wasn't the most glamorous way to score a game-changing goal, but when you think about the significance of it, that goal will forever be remembered. Mariner's journey in football was full of unforgettable moments. He started his career in humble surroundings, playing as an amateur for non-league club Chorley, which was close to his roots in Lancashire. It was here that Mariner's powerful style as a centre-forward caught the attention of Plymouth Argyle, a team that saw his potential early on. He signed with them in 1973, and from there, he began to make his name in the football world. At Plymouth, Mariner quickly became a key player, finding the back of the net regularly. He scored 56 goals in 135 appearances for the Devon club, a record that turned heads. His performance didn't go unnoticed by the higher-ups in the game, including Bobby Robson, who was following Mariner's progress closely. Robson saw something special in him, and in 1976 he brought him to Ipswich Town for a then-club record fee of £220,000. As part of the deal, John Pedalty and Terry Austin moved in the opposite direction. Mariner could have joined other clubs like West Bromwich Albion or West Ham United, but he chose Ipswich, a decision that would turn out to be pivotal in his career. When Mariner first arrived at Ipswich, he quickly settled into the team. He played as the classic number 9, a forward who could take a hit and dish one out while scoring goals. People sometimes thought of him as just a target man type of centre-forward, but Mariner had so much more to offer. He wasn't just about heading long balls into the net, he had the skill to create his own chances, dribbling and scoring with his feet, proving his versatility as a striker. Within just 6 months of joining Ipswich, Mariner's rise was unstoppable. He made his debut for England as a substitute in a 5-0 win over Luxembourg at Wembley. His performance was solid, and he even started the following game against Northern Ireland in the British Home Championship at Windsor Park in Belfast. Although he didn't score in those matches, his presence was felt, and he quickly made a name for himself in the international scene. At Ipswich, the team was performing well, finishing 3rd in the First Division, and Mariner was a major part of that success, contributing 10 goals from 28 appearances. Mariner's 3rd cap for England came in the return World Cup qualifier in Luxembourg, and this time he made sure to make an impact. He scored a last-minute goal in a 2-0 win, solidifying his place in the national team. By now, Mariner had become a regular fixture in the England squad, and it was clear that he was Robson's go-to choice. Despite a slightly mixed season at club level, where Ipswich finished 18th in the First Division, they had a great FA Cup run, making it to the final and famously beating Arsenal 1-0. Mariner didn't score in the final, but he had a chance that hit the goal frame, another reminder of how close he came to making history. In 1979, Mariner had his most productive season at Ipswich, scoring 13 goals in 33 matches. But oddly enough, England coach Bobby Robson didn't select him for international duty that year. It wasn't until 1980 that Mariner earned his 6th England cap, almost 2 years after his previous one. He scored England's only goal in a surprising 4-1 loss to Wales at Wrexham, a sign that he was back on the radar. He continued to impress, even scoring in a 2-1 win over Australia in Sydney, which was the final match before England headed into the 1980 European Championships. Although Mariner didn't play in the first match against Belgium in Turin, he came on as a substitute in the next 2 games, against Italy and Spain. England had a tough time, and despite Mariner's efforts, they were eliminated from the tournament. At the club level, however, Mariner was in top form, continuing to score for Ipswich, and in the 1981 season, he was a key player as they challenged for 3 trophies. Despite missing out on the First Division title to Aston Villa and being knocked out of the FA Cup by Manchester City, Ipswich triumphed in the UEFA Cup. Mariner played a huge role in Ipswich's success in Europe, scoring twice in the quarter-finals against Saint Etienne and adding another in the second leg to seal the deal. They went on to win the UEFA Cup 5-4 on aggregate, and Mariner's goal-scoring heroics in Europe became one of the defining chapters of his career. Back with England, Mariner continued to play a key role in the World Cup qualification campaign. Despite a tough start with a 2-1 defeat to Romania in Bucharest, he scored in a crucial 2-1 win against Switzerland, helping England secure their spot in the 1982 World Cup. Injuries started to take their toll on Mariner as the years went on. Achilles tendon problems limited his appearances, but he still managed to score 8 times in 25 games for Ipswich. By the time the 1982 World Cup came around, Mariner was fit again and ready to make an impact. In the opening game against France, England went 2-1 up, with Brian Robson scoring twice. Mariner sealed the victory with a powerful volley, giving England a 3-1 win. It was his 11th international goal, an impressive tally that showed just how reliable he was for his country. Mariner's performance helped England get through to the second phase of the World Cup, but their journey ended in disappointing goalless draws against Spain and West Germany. The 1980s marked a new phase in Mariner's career. England's qualification campaign for the 1984 European Championship began, but Mariner's international appearances started to dwindle as younger talent emerged. He still scored consistently for Ipswich, but the team's once youthful vibrancy began to fade as they faced a period of transition. In 1984, Mariner made his move to Arsenal for £150,000, a transfer that marked the end of an era at Ipswich. Despite being in his 30s, Mariner made an impact at Arsenal, scoring 7 goals in the final 15 games of the 1983-84 season, helping them secure a solid finish in the league. At Arsenal, Mariner continued to be a reliable player, but as new stars like Mark Hateley, Gary Lineker, and Peter Beardsley emerged for England, Mariner's place in the squad became more uncertain. Mariner made 2 more appearances for England, but his time on the international stage was coming to an end. In the 1984-85 season, his playing time at Arsenal was limited due to injuries, and he only made 9 appearances. By 1986, Mariner's time at Arsenal was coming to a close. New manager George Graham decided to release him on a free transfer, marking the end of his top-flight career in England. After leaving Arsenal, Mariner moved to Portsmouth, where he played for 2 seasons before heading to the United States to play for the Albany Capitals in the American Soccer League. He enjoyed a successful run in the US, being named to the league's best at Kawa in 1990 and continuing his impressive form. Mariner also served as an assistant coach during his time with Albany and was offered the head coach position in 1992. However, when he heard rumors that the team was about to collapse, he left to join the San Francisco Bay Blackhawks as a player-assistant coach. Later in the 1990s, Mariner played for Naxar Lions in Malta and had a brief spell with Byham's Dairy, a Sunday League team in Suffolk. By the end of his playing career, Mariner had cemented his place as one of the most influential strikers of his generation, known for his strength, skill, and dedication to the game. After retiring from playing, Paul Mariner didn't stray too far from the game he loved. Like many ex-players, he stayed involved in football, using his knowledge and experience to contribute in new ways. His first step into post-playing life was as a football pundit on BBC Radio Lancashire, where he became a regular voice on their Friday night non-league hour. This was a great opportunity for Mariner to still be part of the football world, offering insights and analysis on games and the state of football, particularly focusing on the non-league scene. But Mariner wasn't just content with being behind a microphone. He wanted to help young players build careers of their own. So, he set up a management company dedicated to footballers, guiding the next generation as they navigated the tough and unpredictable world of football. His passion for the game was clear, and he saw the potential in coaching as well. Mariner spent some time back in England, where he took on a coaching role at Bolton School. It was a chance to pass on his wealth of experience to young, budding footballers, helping them develop their skills on and off the field. However, Mariner's time at Bolton was short-lived, and soon he was back in the United States, where he had enjoyed a successful spell during his playing days. He started coaching youth football at SC Del Sol in Phoenix, Arizona, continuing his work to develop future football talent. His ability to motivate and teach the next generation didn't go unnoticed, and in 2003 he found himself at Harvard University, where he was brought in as an assistant coach for the men's soccer team. It was a big leap from his time in youth football to the college ranks, but Mariner's knowledge and leadership proved to be invaluable. In 2004, Mariner's journey continued when he was hired by the New England Revolution in Major League Soccer as an assistant coach. He worked alongside Steve Nicol, a former Liverpool and Scotland defender, helping to shape the team's tactics and approach. This was another big opportunity for Mariner, who quickly became an important figure at the club. He made a real impression, and his time with the Revolution opened up even more doors for him in the world of football coaching. Then, as the 2009 season approached, there was a big turning point. Mariner was interviewed for the head coach role with Seattle Sounders FC, one of the expansion sides entering Major League Soccer for the first time. Although he didn't get the job, it was clear that Mariner had a promising future in coaching. Shortly after, he was linked with a return to Plymouth Argyle, the club where he had played for several years. At the time, Plymouth was struggling, and speculation around Marriner return grew stronger, especially when he visited the club to promote Plymouth's bid for the 2018 World Cup. On October 18, 2009, the big announcement came. Marriner was named the new head coach of Plymouth Argyle. He had replaced Paul Sturrock, whose poor run of results had left the team at the bottom of the championship. Unfortunately, Marriner wasn't able to pull the team out of its slump, and they were relegated from the championship after a 6-year stay. Despite this setback, Marriner's time at the club was seen as a valuable learning experience. However, just a few months later, in May 2010, Plymouth decided to search for a new manager, and Marriner's tenure ended, but his connection to the club remained strong. Marriner's time in Plymouth was a bittersweet chapter in his coaching career, but it didn't stop him from moving forward. He stayed involved in the football world, looking for new opportunities. By January 2011, Marriner's next step came when he was named Director of Player Development for Toronto FC, a Canadian team in Major League Soccer. He worked closely with the head coach, Aaron Winter, as they sought to improve the club's squad and overall development. Unfortunately, Winter's tenure ended, and Marriner was appointed as the head coach in June 2012. He was given a difficult task. Toronto was struggling, having lost their first 9 games of the season. Despite a rocky start, Marriner managed to get his first win as manager with a 3-0 away victory against Montreal Impact. It was a bright moment in a challenging season, but despite some brief improvements, Toronto's form dipped again, and Marriner was dismissed in January 2013 after a tough run of results. Following his time in Toronto, Marriner continued to make an impact on the game as a broadcaster. He returned to the New England Revolution as a color commentator, providing his expert analysis for the team's radio and television broadcasts. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Did Laurie Cunningham's tragic death have anything to do with his wild ways? Fans often wonder, especially since his chaotic behavior and lack of discipline seem to land him in trouble more often than one can expect. His tragic death in a car crash in Madrid on July 15, 1989, at just 33 years old, left fans wondering if his free-spirited nature somehow played a role. Cunningham was known for his rebellious streak, which often put him at odds with authority figures throughout his career. A true free spirit, Cunningham wasn't one to follow the rules rigidly. He sometimes skipped training sessions and clashed with coaches, giving him a reputation for being undisciplined. One of the most bizarre incidents came during his time at Real Madrid. After breaking a toe, Cunningham was spotted at a nightclub the very same night, still wearing his cast. Although the club doctor had discharged him, the sight of him out partying didn't sit well with Real Madrid's management. The club gave him a severe reprimand, and the media had a field day with the story. Many fans felt the criticism was unfair, but the intense scrutiny clearly weighed on him. Cunningham's carefree attitude wasn't just limited to his personal life, it spilled over into his football career too. While he was undeniably gifted, his performances were often inconsistent. Critics were quick to point out what they saw as a lack of commitment. Some felt he didn't always live up to his potential, which was frustrating given his immense skill. His transfer fees raised expectations, but his erratic form sometimes left fans and clubs disappointed. Even Vicente Del Bosque, a former teammate and Real Madrid legend, once commented on Cunningham's career. He acknowledged Cunningham's extraordinary talent, but suggested he lacked the competitive edge needed to succeed at a club like Real Madrid. Despite his carefree attitude, football had been a central part of Laurie Cunningham's life from a young age. As a kid, he was deeply involved in schoolboy football and dreamed of making it big. However, his journey wasn't without setbacks. Arsenal turned him down early in his career, but Cunningham didn't let that stop him. In 1974, he joined Leyton Orient, where his natural talent began to shine and set him on the path to greatness. By 1977, Cunningham had moved to West Bromwich Albion, where he became part of something truly groundbreaking. Under manager Johnny Giles, he teamed up with Cyril Regis, another black player, forming a partnership that would soon become iconic. The following year, under manager Ron Atkinson, Brendan Batson joined the squad. This trio of black players on the same English top-flight team was a rarity at the time. It was only the second instance in history, the first being when Clyde Best, Clive Charles and Ade Coker played together for West Ham United in 1972. Atkinson, with his flair for nicknames, called Cunningham, Batson and Regis the 3 Degrees after the famous US soul group. The name stuck and symbolised not just their incredible skills on the pitch, but also the barriers they were breaking in English football. Their presence wasn't just about football, it was about changing perceptions and showing that talent transcends race. One of the most unusual and talked about moments in Cunningham's time at West Brom came during a benefit match for Len Cantello, a former teammate. In this game, the players decided to make a bold statement, dividing the teams along racial lines, a team of white players versus a team of black players. Cunningham was, of course, part of the black team. While the match was controversial and raised eyebrows, it also highlighted the racial tensions and issues of the era. Cunningham made history when he became the first British player to sign for Real Madrid. It was a groundbreaking move, with the Spanish giants paying West Bromwich Albion an impressive $950,000 for his services, a record fee at the time. Cunningham wasted no time making his mark in Spain. On his debut, he scored twice, dazzling fans and proving he belonged on one of football's biggest stages. That season, he helped Madrid secure a league and cup double, solidifying his place in the club's storied history. Cunningham began the 1980-81 season on a high note, finding the back of the net in the early rounds of the European Cup. But his momentum came to an abrupt halt when he suffered a toe injury that required surgery. He made a remarkable recovery just in time for the 1981 European Cup final against Liverpool in Paris. Despite his efforts, Madrid fell short, losing 1-0 in a hard-fought match. Things took a turn for the worse during the 1981-82 season. A thigh injury sidelined Cunningham for most of the campaign, leaving him with just 3 league appearances and no goals to show for them. One of the few highlights came during the UEFA Cup quarter-final against Kaiserslautern. In the first leg, Cunningham showcased his brilliance, scoring in Madrid's 3-1 win. However, the second leg was a nightmare. Cunningham was sent off shortly before halftime for retaliation, and Madrid suffered their worst-ever European defeat, losing 5-0. Despite the struggles, Cunningham added another Copa del Rey medal to his collection, playing in the final as Madrid edged out Sporting Gijón 2-1. But it was a tough, frustrating season for him, and things didn't get much better. Madrid's signing of Johnny Metgod to pair with Uli Stielike as their 2 permitted foreign players left Cunningham on the sidelines for much of the 1982-83 season. In April 1983, he reunited with former manager Ron Atkinson on loan at Manchester United, hoping to reignite his career. By the end of the 1982-83 season, Cunningham's time at Real Madrid had run its course. He moved on, joining Sporting Gijón and later Marseille, hoping for a fresh start. While his time in Madrid was filled with ups and downs, it was a chapter that showcased both his immense talent and the challenges he faced at the highest level of the game. After just 1 season in France playing for Marseille in 1984-85, he returned to England to join Leicester City. Unfortunately, his time there was cut short due to another injury, and he only managed half a season before moving on again. By the end of the 1985-86 season, Cunningham was back in Spain, this time with Rayo Vallecano, a second-tier team. It was a step down from the bright lights of Real Madrid, but Cunningham didn't let that stop him from making an impact. He then moved to Belgium for the 1987-88 season, joining Charleroi, but his career seemed to be plagued by bad luck. Another injury struck, forcing him to miss much of the campaign. In early 1988, Cunningham returned to England on a short-term deal with Wimbledon, a team famous for their underdog spirit. It turned out to be a perfect fit for the moment, as Cunningham played a small but meaningful role in one of the most memorable moments in English football history, helping Wimbledon defeat Liverpool in the 1988 FA Cup final. Known as the Crazy Gang, Wimbledon pulled off an incredible upset, and Cunningham added yet another achievement to his career. Cunningham then returned to Spain for one final chapter with Rayo Vallecano in the 1988-89 season. Despite all the injuries and setbacks, he still had something left to give. He scored the goal that secured Rayo's promotion to the Primera Division, giving their fans a reason to celebrate and cementing his legacy with the club. Cunningham's incredible talent wasn't limited to club football. It also shone on the international stage. On April 27, 1977, he made his debut for the England under-21 team in a friendly match against Scotland at Bramall Lane. Cunningham marked the occasion in style, scoring a goal and immediately proving his worth. At the time, many believed he was the first black player to wear an England shirt at any level. However, it was later revealed that Benjamin Odeje had actually been the first, playing for the England schoolboys back in 1971. 2 years later, in 1979, Cunningham stepped up to the senior England team, making his debut in a home international match against Wales. It was a proud moment, but his time with the national team would be frustratingly limited. Despite his remarkable achievements, including winning the league and cup double with Real Madrid, England manager Ron Greenwood didn't select him for the squad for UEFA Euro 1980. Many fans were baffled, feeling that Cunningham's skill and flair could have added a new dimension to the team. Cunningham got another chance in 1981 during England's qualifiers for the 1982 FIFA World Cup. He was called up for a match against Norway, but to his disappointment, he remained on the bench as England cruised to a 4-0 victory. In the following qualifier against Romania, Cunningham finally got some game time coming off the bench. However, he couldn't turn things around, and England lost 2-1. Unfortunately, that would be his last appearance for the national team. For a player of Cunningham's immense talent, earning only 6 senior caps felt like a missed opportunity for both him and England. Many believe he could have offered so much more had he been given the chance. Although Cunningham's life was tragically cut short, his legacy remains powerful, and fans continue to admire him for the trailblazer he was. In November 2004, West Bromwich Albion honoured him by naming him one of the club's 16 greatest players in a poll celebrating their 125th anniversary. To further recognise his impact, the club decided to feature him in a mural of former players at the Hawthorns, ensuring his story would inspire generations to come. His influence extends far beyond the football pitch. In October 2013, the Nubian Jack Community Trust unveiled a blue plaque outside Brisbane Road, Leyton Orient's home ground, where Cunningham had first made a name for himself in professional football. 2 years later, in September 2015, English Heritage honoured him with another blue plaque, this time at his childhood home on Lancaster Road in Stroud Green, London. These plaques serve as lasting reminders of his incredible journey and the barriers he broke along the way. Statues have also been erected to celebrate Cunningham's contributions to football and his role as a pioneer for black players. In November 2017, a statue by sculptor Graham Ibbison was unveiled in Coronation Gardens, near Leyton Orient's Brisbane Road, paying tribute to Cunningham's early years and his impact at the club. 2 years later, in May 2019, another statue by Ibbison was revealed in West Bromwich Town Centre. This statue honours not just Cunningham, but also his historic partnership with teammates Cyril Regis and Brendan Batson. Known as the 3 Degrees, these players helped pave the way for black footballers at a time when racism in the sport was rampant. A spokesperson for the project captured their importance perfectly, saying, "The 3 players opened the gates to allow black players into football at a time when they were locked out." Cunningham's story has also inspired art and theatre. In 2019, a play called Getting the Third Degree by Dougie Blaxland debuted, exploring Cunningham's life and the challenges he faced as one of football's first black superstars. From his early days in East London to becoming the first British player to sign for Real Madrid, he showed incredible skill and flair on the football pitch. He made history with West Bromwich Albion, forming the iconic trio, the 3 Degrees, with Cyril Regis and Brendan Batson, paving the way for black players in football during a challenging time. At Real Madrid, he dazzled fans but also faced setbacks with injuries and missed opportunities. Despite the highs and lows, his talent left a lasting mark on every club he played for. Laurie's career had moments of brilliance, but it was also filled with struggles, including racism and criticism over his perceived lack of discipline. Laurie's life was cut short at just 33 years old in a car crash in Madrid, but his legacy lives on through the honours, statues and tributes that continue to celebrate his impact on football and society. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. See you in the next one.
AWD, they would take them and they say, what were we doing this week? No, run them on the moors. They haven't been the moors for months. Next week, we'll run them on the roads. This week, they've not been the roads for ages. Third week, I know what we'll do with them this week. Run them on the sand. They've not been in the sand for ages. Shanks used to say, sand. The next time they build a sandhill on a pitch, we'll bloody train on one.
They called him Crazy Horse. A fearless warrior on the pitch, he inspired a generation, but beneath the bravado, a complex man wrestled with demons. How did the darling of Anfield end up in the dock? Many questions were left unanswered. Let's tackle the conundrum that is Emlyn Hughes. Emlyn Walter Hughes, OBE. Born on 28th of August 1947 in the industrial town of Barrow-in-Furness, young Emlyn was the son of Fred Hughes, a notable rugby league footballer who played for Great Britain, Wales, Barrow and Workington Town. Here's a twist for you. Despite his family's sporting pedigree, young Emlyn was initially turned away by his local side, Barrow. But he didn't let that knock him down. Instead, he joined Blackpool, a First Division side in 1964. Just a lad back then, he made his debut playing alongside football legends like Jimmy Armfield and Alan Ball. He started out as an inside forward, but soon found his groove at left half. It was clear early on that Emlyn was something special. Now let's fast forward to February 1967. Liverpool's legendary manager, Bill Shankly, spotted Emlyn's potential and snapped him up for $65,000. Adjusted for today, that's a whopping $1.49 million. On 4th of March 1967, Hughes made his Liverpool debut in a 2-1 victory over Stoke City at Anfield. A few months later, on 26th of August, he scored his first goal in a 6-0 thrashing of Newcastle United. So, why the nickname Crazy Horse? Well, during a game against Newcastle, Emlyn launched into an illegal rugby tackle on winger Albert Bennett. It wasn't pretty, but it was the kind of move that got him noticed, and thus, Crazy Horse was born. But Crazy Horse had his fair share of legal troubles off the pitch, and one night, instead of celebrating, he was spending a night in court. Make sure to like and subscribe, and now back to the video. Crazy Horse, after retirement, wasn't always smooth sailing for one with such immense talent. In fact, with the shrug of his shoulders, former England and Liverpool captain Emlyn Hughes found himself in a very sticky situation. The occasion was no less than his 55th birthday, but instead of revelling in celebrations, he was in a position where he faced the music in York Magistrates Court. The charge? Drink driving. A far cry from his days of glory, wouldn't you say? So what happened? After a day at York Races where he held an after-dinner speech, Hughes was stopped by the police as he drove away. Now, Hughes was no stranger to the limelight, but this wasn't the kind of attention he'd have wanted. Pleading guilty to drink driving, he was handed a 12-month driving ban and fined $400. But here's the irony. Emlyn was disgusted with himself. "I am absolutely disgusted with what I did. I abhor drink drivers," he said after the hearing. Tough words from a man noted for his spirited antics. By way of explanation, his solicitor, Stephen Winehouse, painted a somewhat different picture of Hughes. In his eyes, Emlyn believed his brother was having a medical emergency when he decided to drive. He thought he was just going to drive 10 or 20 yards along Campleshon Road to his hotel, a short distance, but enough to land him in hot water. The chairman of the bench, Dr. Peter Hogarth, accompanied by 2 other justices, pronounced to Hughes his grave sentencing. He got far less, fined $400 plus $55 in court costs. Such are the circumstances, and barely a few meters driven. The fine was initially set at $600, but was reduced for mitigating factors. So what happened here? Hughes had made a speech and afterwards spent part of the afternoon in a hospitality suite. He intended to walk to his hotel or get a taxi, but when his brother, who, since suffering a stroke in 1997, was in poor health, started to feel ill suddenly, Hughes thought that it was an emergency. He grabbed his friend's car, thinking there was a route over the racecourse to the hotel without hitting a public road. Unfortunately, he was wrong, and what could have been just a short drive turned into a legal headache. Hughes had never been convicted of any drink driving offences before, although there was a conviction for speeding on his record. And to put things into perspective, Hughes covered between 75,000 and 100,000 miles annually in his various pursuits as a radio speaker, after-dinner speaker, and charity worker. Not a bad workload for a man ostensibly in retirement from professional football. Those early years at Liverpool were tough. No sign of silverware in those days, but Emlyn was establishing himself as a real star. He developed into the utility player Shankly had seen for the future, finding himself at left-back and central defence as and when the team needed him. This attribute was to attract the attention of England manager Alf Ramsey, and Emlyn won his first cap in 1969. 5th of November 1969. the Olympic Stadium in Amsterdam, England versus the Netherlands. Hughes at left-back, helping to secure a 1-0 win for England. A good start, but there was more to come. In 1972, he struck his only international goal against Wales, one of 3 that helped England register a 3-0 success in the British Home Championship at Ninian Park. But what was it that truly made Emlyn special? Was it his playing style, fearlessly going into every challenge he met head-on, or was it his adaptability on the pitch and nature that made a positive impact on both teammates and supporters equally? One thing is for certain, you could never discount Emlyn Hughes. Emlyn Hughes, more endearingly known as Crazy Horse, passed away on November 9, 2004, due to a brain tumour, aged merely 57. He fought this horrid little bleeder for 15 months, but gave up the battle at home in Sheffield, surrounded by his family. His wife, Barbara, stated that the last few days had seen his condition worsen. Just a day after playing in a charity match, he collapsed with awful head pains. The docs diagnosed a very nasty brain tumour. From there, it was a relentless battle with chemo. By the end, the vibrant Crazy Horse was nearly immobile, his vision fading, a cruel twist of fate for someone who never missed a day of training in his prime. Let's go back a bit. Emlyn Hughes was no ordinary footballer. He was a force of nature. Nicknamed Crazy Horse for his fearless, close to reckless style, he careered around the field like he had a point to prove, and prove it he did. He could boastfully amass 2 European Cups, 5 League Championships, an FA Cup, and even the crowning accolade of Footballer of the Year. And here's the kicker, he never missed a single day of training, not one. Hughes in his pomp, sporting the Liverbird badge with limitless zeal and relentless vigour. His old teammate Ray Clements described it as a very sad day and that one of the greats of a great Liverpool side is no longer with us. Chief Executive of Liverpool Rick Parry sent deepest sympathies to Hughes's wife Barbara, his children Emma and Emlyn Jr. and the rest of the family. Their spokesman paid glowing tribute to the 100% effort Hughes had given to the cause and his relentless passion for Liverpool FC. But Hughes's story began long before he donned the Liverpool red. He was pioneering from Barrow-in-Furness in 1947, where his father had been a professional rugby league player. Football was in his blood. He started at Blackpool before Bill Shankly took note of the raw talent and recruited him in 1967 for Liverpool. For the next 12 years, Hughes played 657 games for the Reds. Just think, 657 games, really epitomising the strength of pure passion and skill. Internationally, Hughes did not fall very much behind. He gained 62 caps for England, and 23 of these were as captain of the team. The last match he played for his country was in 1980. His journey did not end here, though. Hughes crossed over to Wolves in 1979 and helped them clinch victory for the League Cup the very next year. In the same year, he was given an award for OBE for his services to sport, truly an acknowledgement of the effect he had both on and off the field. After leaving Liverpool, he had brief stints as player-manager with Rotherham and as a player with Hull, Mansfield and Swansea before cutting his playing career short in 1984. Yet Hughes was not one to hide his light under a bushel. He developed a fresh following and a different type of fame with A Question of Sport. With that inimitable voice and infectious laugh, he became a favourite television character, trying to win the hearts of a totally different generation of fans. One of the most marked moments of the show was when Princess Anne was on his team. Typically, Hughes, he abided by no royal protocol and embraced the princess after she gave a correct answer. Weeks later, in true Crazy Horse style, he was to mistake a photograph of the princess and believed it to be jockey John Reid. Before that, I was a footballer maybe 15% of people knew. After it, 99.9% of people knew me. It was innocently done, he would later say. Ah, Emlyn, what a performer. In later life, Hughes developed his own passion for the racetrack, co-owning a Grand National runner. His racing colours, well, they were all a testament to his footballing roots: Liverpool red, Blackpool tangerine, Wolves gold, and the white of the England football. That's it for this one. If you're a fan of sport icons, make sure to check out our latest one on Gary Speed. I'm sure you'll love it. Colin Bell, the King of Kippax, a name that evokes memories of midfield mastery and unwavering loyalty to Manchester City. His elegant play and crucial goals made him a legend at Maine Road, but his journey was also marked by a devastating injury and personal struggles that tested his resilience. Hit that subscribe button to dive deeper into the lives of sports legends. Today, we explore the complex story of Colin Bell, uncovering the triumphs and challenges that shaped his career and his unwavering commitment to sportsmanship and respect. Colin Bell's journey to footballing greatness began in the industrial heartland of the northeast of England, where his passion for the game ignited on the streets and local pitches of County Durham. From a young age, his natural talent and dedication to the sport were evident, his skillful dribbling and precise passing setting him apart from his peers. Bell's talent didn't go unnoticed. At the age of 15, he was scouted by Bury, a local club with a proud history. He quickly progressed through their youth ranks, impressing coaches with his work ethic and his ability to control the midfield with composure and vision. In 1966, at the age of 19, Bell made his first team debut for Bury, marking the beginning of a promising career. His performances caught the attention of bigger clubs, and just a year later, he made a move that would define his legacy. He signed for Manchester City. Bell's arrival at Maine Road was met with excitement as the club recognised his potential to become a key figure in their midfield. He quickly established himself as a fan favourite, his skillful play and tireless work rate earning him the adoration of the City faithful. Bell's partnership with Francis Lee and Mike Summerbee formed one of the most formidable attacking trios in English football history. Their understanding and interplay on the pitch were a joy to behold, their combined talents leading Manchester City to a period of unprecedented success. In 1968, Bell played a pivotal role in City's First Division title triumph, their first league championship in over 3 decades. His contributions to the team's success were undeniable, his ability to control the midfield, create scoring opportunities and score crucial goals making him an indispensable asset. The following year, Bell helped City lift the FA Cup, defeating Leicester City in the final at Wembley Stadium. He continued to be a key figure in the team's success, as they added the League Cup and the European Cup Winners' Cup to their trophy cabinet. Bell's rise to prominence was a testament to his natural talent, his dedication to the game, and his unwavering commitment to Manchester City. He became a symbol of the club's resurgence, his name synonymous with their golden era. His skillful play, his tireless work rate, and his connection with the fans made him a true icon, the King of Kippax, who reigned supreme at Maine Road. Colin Bell's impact at Manchester City transcended mere statistics and trophies. He became a symbol of the club's resurgence, a player whose name echoed through the stands of Maine Road with a reverence reserved for true legends. He was the King of Kippax, a moniker bestowed upon him by the adoring fans who occupied the Kippax Street stand, a testament to his connection with the heart and soul of Manchester City. Bell's reign as the King of Kippax was built on a foundation of exceptional talent and unwavering dedication. He was the complete midfielder, a player who could dominate both offensively and defensively. His tireless work rate, his ability to win tackles, his precise passing, and his knack for scoring crucial goals made him an indispensable asset to the team. He was the engine room of Manchester City's midfield, driving the team forward with his energy and vision. His ability to read the game, anticipate passes, and orchestrate attacks made him a nightmare for opposing teams. He was equally adept at breaking up opposition plays, his tackling and interceptions snuffing out attacks before they could develop. Bell's partnership with Francis Lee and Mike Summerbee, known as the Holy Trinity, was a symphony of attacking brilliance. Their interplay on the pitch was a joy to behold, their understanding and movement creating a constant threat to opposing defences. Bell's ability to link up with Lee and Summerbee, providing the creative spark and the finishing touch, made them one of the most feared attacking trios in English football history. The King of Kippax played a pivotal role in Manchester City's golden era. He was instrumental in their 1968 First Division title triumph, their first league championship in over 3 decades. His contributions continued as City lifted the FA Cup in 1969, defeating Leicester City in the final at Wembley Stadium. The following season, Bell helped City secure the League Cup and the European Cup Winners' Cup, completing a remarkable trophy haul. His performances in these cup competitions cemented his status as a big game player, a midfielder who thrived under pressure and delivered when it mattered most. Bell's connection with the fans was profound. He was adored for his dedication, his humility, and his unwavering commitment to the club. The Kippax faithful chanted his name with passion, their voices echoing through Main Road in recognition of his exceptional talent and his embodiment of the club's spirit. Even today, long after his retirement and his passing in 2021, Bell's legacy as the King of Kippax endures. He is remembered as one of Manchester City's greatest ever players, a midfielder whose skill, dedication and connection with the fans have etched his name in the club's folklore. His statue outside the Etihad Stadium stands as a testament to his enduring impact, a reminder of the reign of the king who captivated a generation and inspired countless others with his brilliance on the pitch. In the unforgiving world of professional football, where physicality and passion collide, injuries are an inevitable reality. For Colin Bell, the King of Kippax, a devastating knee injury suffered in 1975 would tragically alter the course of his career, cutting short his prime and leaving a lingering sense of what might have been. In the unforgiving world of professional football, where physicality and passion collide, injuries are an inevitable reality. For Colin Bell, the King of Kippax, a devastating knee injury suffered in 1975 would tragically alter the course of his career, cutting short his prime and leaving a lingering sense of what might have been. The fateful incident occurred during a Manchester derby match against rivals Manchester United, a fixture always charged with intensity and emotion. As Bell, with his trademark elegance and determination, weaved through the midfield, a reckless tackle from United's Martin Buchan brought him crashing to the ground. The impact was immediate and severe, Bell's knee twisting awkwardly beneath him. The extent of the injury was soon revealed, a ruptured cruciate ligament and extensive damage to the cartilage. It was a devastating blow for Bell, a player who relied on his agility, speed and stamina to dominate the midfield. The injury required multiple surgeries and a grueling rehabilitation process, a long and arduous journey back to fitness. Despite the setback, Bell's determination to return to the game he loved never wavered. He endured countless hours of physiotherapy, pushing his body to its limits in the hope of regaining his former form. He made several attempts to return to the first team, but the injury had taken its toll. His mobility was compromised, his confidence shaken, and the explosiveness that had defined his game was diminished. The devastating knee injury effectively ended Bell's time as a top-flight player. He continued to play for Manchester City, but his appearances became sporadic, his impact limited by the lingering effects of the injury. The King of Kippax, once a dominant force in midfield, was now a shadow of his former self, his reign prematurely cut short by a cruel twist of fate. The injury not only affected Bell's physical abilities, but also took a toll on his mental and emotional well-being. The frustration of being unable to perform at his best, the constant pain, and the realization that his career had been irrevocably altered weighed heavily on him. Bell's struggle to come to terms with the injury and its impact on his career was a testament to his love for the game and his dedication to Manchester City. He never gave up hope of returning to his former glory, but the reality of his situation eventually forced him to accept a new role, one that focused on mentoring younger players and contributing to the club in a different capacity. The devastating knee injury, while a tragic chapter in Bell's story, also revealed his resilience and his unwavering spirit. He faced adversity with courage and dignity, refusing to let the injury define him. His legacy as a Manchester City legend remains strong, his contributions to the club's success and his impact on the fans forever etched in the hearts of the City faithful. Like many footballers, Colin Bell found the transition to life after retirement a challenging one. The sudden shift from the structured routine of training and matches to the uncertainties of a new career path left him feeling adrift. The adulation of the crowds, the camaraderie of the dressing room, and the adrenaline rush of competition were gone, replaced by a quieter, more introspective existence. Bell's attempts to establish himself in the business world met with limited success. He ventured into various ventures, including a sportswear shop and a pub, but these endeavors proved to be financially unsustainable. The lack of business acumen and the challenges of adapting to a new environment contributed to his struggles. The financial difficulties that followed weighed heavily on Bell, adding to the emotional burden of his premature retirement due to injury. He had always been a private person, shying away from the limelight and keeping his personal struggles out of the public eye. This reserved nature, while admirable, may have also limited his opportunities to seek support or explore alternative career paths. Despite these challenges, Bell remained a beloved figure in the Manchester City community. The club recognised his contributions and offered him various roles, including a position in the youth development programme. He also found solace in his family and close friends, their support providing him with strength and stability during difficult times. Bell's struggles after retirement highlight the challenges faced by many athletes in transitioning to a new life after their playing days are over. The sudden loss of identity, the financial uncertainties, and the psychological impact of leaving the sport they love can create a difficult period of adjustment. Bell's story serves as a reminder of the importance of support systems and the need for athletes to prepare for life beyond the pitch. Colin Bell, a man of unwavering integrity and sportsmanship, was a vocal critic of the Munich chants that sometimes marred the passionate atmosphere of Manchester derbies. These chants, referencing the tragic 1958 Munich air disaster that claimed the lives of several Manchester United players and staff, were a source of shame and embarrassment for many City fans. Bell, a true gentleman of the game, condemned these chants, labelling those who engaged in them as not true City supporters. 1. He recognised the deep-seated rivalry between the two clubs, but he believed that respect and sportsmanship should always prevail, even in the heat of competition. His stance was widely praised by fans and the media alike. It demonstrated his empathy for the victims of the Munich tragedy and his commitment to upholding the values of fair play and respect for opponents. Bell's words carried weight, his status as a club legend amplifying his message and encouraging a more positive and respectful atmosphere at Manchester derbies. His criticism of the Munich chants was a testament to his character and his belief in the power of sports to unite rather than divide. It highlighted the importance of remembering the human cost of tragedy and the responsibility of fans to uphold the spirit of sportsmanship, even in the midst of intense rivalries. Colin Bell's legacy extends far beyond his achievements on the football pitch. He was more than just a skillful midfielder. He was an icon of Manchester City, a symbol of the club's golden era, and a man whose integrity and sportsmanship inspired generations of fans and players. His impact on Manchester City is undeniable. He was a key figure in their trophy-laden years, his contributions to their First Division title, FA Cup victory, and European success, cementing his place among the club's all-time greats. 1. His elegant style of play, his tireless work rate, and his knack for scoring crucial goals earned him the adoration of the Kippax faithful, who crowned him the King. Colin Bell's journey, marked by both triumph and adversity, is a testament to the enduring spirit of a true sporting legend. He was a midfield maestro, a club icon, and a man whose legacy extends far beyond the football pitch. What are your lasting memories of Colin Bell? Share your thoughts and tributes in the comments below. And if you were touched by this story, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and poignant stories from the world of sports.